Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host. And joining me this week, and as always, is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Joe Lever. Joe, you're looking pretty spiffy, pal. Gotta say something, because he doesn't shoot you.
Why, thank you, Jimmy. Looking pretty spiffy yourself, pal.
Oh, good.
Joe Lever here reporting. What? Sorry. This is Joe Lever here reporting live from the Lever household. Pleasure to join you on such an occasion, Jimmy. Good podcast coming at everybody as usual.
Every time you do this bit,
Back to you, Jimmy.
Every time you do this bit, I always think of like the poor reporters that have to start like that climb to anchor, and they start with like getting sent to like horrible storms, and they're just standing out there and they're just screaming into the microphone, and there's that huge delay.
It's barely windy out here at all, Jimmy. It's barely a breeze.
Barely a breeze. Excellent. For people who can't see Joe right now, he's actually wearing one of our hats from our Spreadshirt, and I just wanted kind of to test it out, see how the quality is. So, Joe, you can attest to some of the quality for the most part. Seems like a pretty nice hat.
Let me lay it on here, Jimmy. Not many hats can tame a wild mane such as this. There's a couple different versions. I think there's a flex fit hat, but I elected for the classic snapback trucker. It's got a bit of a flat brim on it, so it's a flat bill, but I prefer my hats with a bit of a curve to them. Nothing too flat. I mean, I'm not in the hood or anything. But so I get a little curve. It's got a nice high brim on it. So, or high crown, I guess you'd call it. Everything seems to be pretty good. Decent quality and everything. And the CR logo just like, boom, bumping out at you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Well, you can curve that bill over time, right? Is that
Yeah, I won't curve it too much. It's not built to be like a real trucker like curved hat, but it, even a flat bill, I bend them just a little bit,
Good. Well, thank you for attesting to the quality there. I didn't really plan on making the intro of the show to be an advertisement for our Spreadshirt, but you should definitely go check it out if you haven't already. Also, I think Simon, one of our most devout legionaries, he had an It's All Citrus shirt, and I'm like, I got to get one of those because it looked really nice. I was like, oh, yeah, like a gray or a black. Woo.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
Anyway, yeah, because besides like my regular CR shirt that I have, I was like, let's maybe change it up a little bit. But yes, for anyone joining us for the very first time, welcome. We like to talk about games, movies, TV shows, music, theme parks, all that sort of thing. And this week, we've got a little bit of news, not as much as last week. Last week, there's so much news. But this week, let's just dive right into it. Joe, have you ever heard of Aladdin? You know that movie that's coming out, that live action one? Huh? You know Aladdin?
Of course, Jimmy, I do. I have a magic carpet in the garage I take to work every Friday. It's my sport car, basically.
Yeah, it would be okay. How do you hold on to the magic carpet? I guess you just hold on to the front of it, kind of thing. Because you can't.
Grab the tassels, I guess.
Maybe it's got really good, it's got some really good friction built into it, so you don't slide off. Anywho, Entertainment Weekly just put out a picture of Aladdin, Jasmine, and Genie, Will Smith playing the Genie here, and a lot of people started freaking out. So when you look at this picture. And if you're not familiar with the stage show, you might not really recognize kind of what they're going for here. So Will Smith here, you can see him with a top knot, and he's kind of like almost bald, which is definitely, it's different than what I'm used to seeing him like, which is totally fine. But usually that's how the Genie kind of shows up in most of the stage shows. He quickly clarified this and said, this is just like my human disguise or Genie's human disguise. For the most of the movie, I will be blue and I will be CGI. I think just for Entertainment Weekly, it's kind of like when they put any character on there, like Captain Marvel, they don't do up all the special effects that they could do. They just kind of show, here's the base look for these characters, not all done up and crazy.
Do you not think it's going to be weird? Like, it's not very Arabian.
It's not, I don't think that really needs to be the case, but I look back at the original Genie, like when Robin Williams did it, I think they just need to go in a completely different direction. We just need to see what the blue CG Genie is. And I think that's what's going to make or break for a lot of people. They're going to see that or they're going to be like, oh, that looks really cool. Because apparently the effects aren't done for it yet. I'm guessing they're really, that's the one thing out of anything in this movie that they're like, we got to get this right. We have to do it really well. But from just looking at it for the first time, Joe, how do you feel about this, the look?
I feel like it's not very, I don't know, maybe it's I don't know, culturally, I didn't know if it was very authentic, but I don't know. I'm not going to judge too harshly. Will I go out and see it in theaters? Probably not, but
You see, well, no, it's okay. We're all gonna see it. It's fine. The real question is, why are Aladdin's clothes so nice? He's a street rat, man. He shouldn't have such nice clothes. Those things should be ripped up and torn up a bit, man. Uh,
you would think.
yeah, you'd think. Also, they kind of went away from the old, like, he just wears a purple vest and he has no shirt. Like, he's just like, I just have a purple vest. I do like what they did with Jasmine's costume, though, because it kind of is a throwback to her original one, but is like slightly more conservative. Like, but they still try to keep the theme of it, kind of like that turquoise and stuff. You know, you can kind of see the coloration there. And she's got tons of like little jewels and things all over, which makes more sense because she's a princess, an Agrabah, so she's going to be blinged out quite a bit, I would think. But yeah, people were kind of freaking out about this whole Genie thing. It's like, guys, you know what? Like, maybe they should do something that is very different than the Robin Williams incarnation, because I just don't think you just do the same thing and with Will Smith's voice instead. I just don't think that's going to win, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I just I don't know. The real version, like Will Smith is like physically him playing that character. Whatever, I guess.
But only for a short time, Joe. The rest of the time, he's going to be a big blue genie. The rest, this is just like his human form. Like maybe when he's doing the parade, like when he's, you know, Prince Ali, you know, Alibaba. You know, like when they're going into town, maybe he's not always going to be Genie. Maybe that's to save a little. Well, they're putting a lot of money into it. Maybe it's just to save the effects department just like a few dollars. They're just like, all right, 20 seconds is him, just as Will Smith. It would help us out a lot. Like, just like pull it back just a bit.
I guess whatever. He'll fit the part just fine, I guess.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though. At first look, it doesn't look like it looks like his outfit. I don't want to say it looks cheap. There's just something to it where there's like, he's got like all these bracelets on too, like tons of these bracelets, which I'm guessing those main ones are like the Genie bracelets, and then other things that follow. And then kind of this like almost bedazzled shirt. Like it's got all these studs in it too. You know what I'm seeing? I don't know.
He's a Genie. He's flashy.
He's flashy. I just didn't know if that was the thing that you're having a problem with. Like, I'm sure it's culturally on point, because I think that's the reason they also, you know, tried to hire like a cast that was mostly out of that place. Whereas the Genie, you could cast almost anybody, I think, you know, without having it be like really insensitive. Like you just have to cast someone who would be like really vivacious and stuff. Yeah, we'll have to see.
So he's not from that region or anything?
Well, Genie's kind of like from a different time and space, I feel like. Because, you know, like look back at the original version and like that guy's, it's clearly just like Robin Williams doing stand-up. And he's doing like Jack Nicholson impressions. It's not like, oh yeah, this is like, he's very like, oh yeah.
Saying that Aladdin's a horrible movie to begin with, they should just can the whole thing.
I'm saying that Aladdin isn't a movie I would look to and say, you know what, this is a really good representation of the region. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's what they're trying to do with Mulan, I think. But we'll see if that still is going forward, not containing, like, you know, Mushu and the songs and stuff. We'll see. Yeah, a top knot on Will Smith. That is just, there's something striking about that image, though, with him. If you guys check this out, you guys should try to look at this while we're talking about this, because there's something about it that I just can't take my eyes off him. He's got his hands up. He's all like magic. Yeah, man, I'm excited to see that Genie, though. I'm excited to see what they really go with, because I'm sure the effect will always be moving. There'll be something about it that is like constantly, like while he's out, like something will be shifting, or like, you know, there'll be like a cosmos within him, or something like that. I really feel like they'll try to punch that up. But yeah, I think Aladdin and Jasmine also look really good. Joe, you didn't really comment on them. Do you like how they're dressed?
Yeah, I think that's all well and fine.
Mm-hmm. You're just waiting for Abu. You want to see what Abu looks like. You love monkeys. Just loves the little monkey.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who that was for a moment.
Oh, Bagheera. That's what I want to see. Are they going to take that motion capture or whatever they do with Idris Elba for Jungle Book, and they're like, here's the tiger. Just use the same tiger. It's just like this terrifying tiger.
Oh, yeah. Big tiger gets turned into a little tiger, right?
Apologies. I said Bagheera. Bagheera is the name of the panther in Jungle Book. I'm thinking of Raja. That's her tiger. Apologies, everybody. I'm so sorry. That's why I always had a crush on Jasmine when I was a kid, because I was like, she's got a pet tiger. That's pretty cool. I was like, and her dad was like the chillest of any of like the princess's dads. Like a lot of the other ones are like really protective. He just like wants to play with toys and like have a good time. Like he's just like, I'm just trying to find, you know, a suitor for my daughter, and you know, it's not going super well, but yeah. I want to see what he looks like too. Him and Jafar, I think, were the next big ones coming up, and they might have released that information or footage, but I have not seen it yet. So, Joe, it sounds like you've lessened on the Aladdin hype train. Like you were here-ish, and now you're like,
oh, did I ever give a hypometer on it?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone keeps track of these things. I don't.
Nobody go and look because my thoughts have changed.
Oh my gosh. So where are they now? Are they sub-zero?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'm not going out of my way for the thing. I'd call it, you know, I'm not freezing, but you know, I'm like fall temps, you know, maybe 40s.
So 4 out of 10 40s. I love that we know that, but other people might be like, what does he mean fall temps? Like if you're in California, you're like,
I meant 40s.
40s. Okay. All right. I'm at an 8 out of 10. 80s, baby. I'm feeling it's relatively, it's kind of warm. You know, it's pretty hot. It's decent. I'm excited about this. I think it'll still be really, really good. And I still say their teaser trailer was better than Lion King's. There's something about that teaser trailer, just a little bit of the music showing just a little bit. Oh, it's good, Joe. It's really good.
Agreed. That was good.
Yeah, it's a great one. Anyway, we want to know what you guys think about all of this. So let us know what you think. And if you're really excited about this, if you're freaking out about Will Smith being in this, I still think he's a good choice for all of it. But I think that especially after the recent, you know, passing of Robin Williams, I just think this is just an uphill battle from the start. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe, you know, the thing is, kids are going to grow up with this version of Aladdin as well, though. Like, people are going to start growing up with these versions of the stories along with the cartoon version, and maybe some people prefer the live-action ones. Keep that in mind, too. So, Joe's like, I don't know about that. Maybe? No? Yeah?
Yeah, no, maybe. I mean, yeah.
Anything's possible, right, Joe? Except for Hellboy 3. Let's jump into Hellboy. So, Joe, we have a trailer now for Hellboy, the reboot of a franchise that I would like to briefly talk about. I really enjoyed Hellboy. I think we both have talked about this a little bit, Joe.
I think it was somewhat well done. Ron Perlman,
Guillermo del Toro. So I look at this as being like a half step or a full step up, the Hellboy, those two movies, up from like the Underworlds and the Resident Evils. I always felt like it was kind of in that vein where it just couldn't make it into the mainstream, but it had a lot of really good quality there that those films always seem to lack. Like the first
practical effects, baby, they were beautiful.
Yeah, like, and Guillermo del Toro really, like, he can really make a world come to life. Like, it just pops like so much. And I thought that the second one, Golden Army, was even better than the first one because you get rid of that really bland and boring main protagonist who's like a love triangle for Hellboy and Liz or whatever, and it's like that's just gone now. But I like the bad guys in that movie. I love just how everything just like fits together, and like I don't know, that it looks so creepy and real. And I would really say this though, besides Guillermo being behind the camera and really making this stuff come off the screen, Ron Perlman is Hellboy. Like, he's so good in that role. He just owns it. And yeah. I feel bad that we're not going to get to see that, because a lot of people had cited that maybe it was going to be like a money thing, why they weren't going to get Guillermo and Ron back for like a third one, and they're going to do like a gritty reboot, which we were all excited about, and I totally am still interested. But my question to you, Joe, what do you think of this trailer?
Poor taste.
Oh my god. Okay. Continue.
I don't even know if I saw the real trailer. It was like 2 minutes long, and it was a lot.
It's not even 2 minutes, but yeah, there's a lot that goes on in it. Is the beginning where he gets shot at and he's like, I'm on your side.
Yeah. And I mean, he fights every monster you'll ever see in the movie in the trailer.
Yeah. That's totally true. This teaser does.
Like,
you're totally
Pete.
You're so right.
How much more are you going to show me? Are you going to have trailer number 2 and 3 yet, or is this all of them smashed together? And I'm getting a little sick of films in general going back on that 80s bullshit. Like, listen, I get Guardians did it. Then theirs is even older than that, like early 80s, 70s even, isn't it?
Yeah, they're kind of a mix, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, guys, knock it off. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you're light and airy, but it's really dark and gloomy. They clash, but it's funny that way. It's great.
I love it. I love that you got some frustration with it. That's good. Because I felt a similar feeling to it. Because now that you bring that point up, we thought, originally when they talked about this, like we're going for like a hard R rating, and it still could be like that. The tone of this movie could still have that, because sometimes trailers kind of do stuff, but the directors are like, no, that is not my movie. I swear to God, it's not that.
Yeah, but they're like, yo, we're gonna do a Deadpool.
Dude, you're right.
2.0, like only he can die technically, kind of. He doesn't need a mask, but hey, he's red.
Yeah.
Oh, am I ruining it for you, Jimmy?
No. I was I think every joke in this trailer falls flat. And I think David Harbour is a decent actor, but I think a lot of it is like I don't know if it's the direction that they told him to go in. There's a lot of just kind of him yelling, and I think like his prosthetics and stuff look pretty good, but I think there's something that is altering the way he speaks, because when I think back to how they did it for Ron Perlman, they just like basically painted his face red and added those like horn studs right there, and that was it. But this looks like there's more around his face, so he sounds like, and they probably altered his sound digitally as well, but there's something about the delivery of his lines that doesn't seem really authentic. Am I wrong there? It's just something that seems like forced. Like everything he's like, hey, what's your right arm good for? He's like, for smashing. It's like there's no, like, is Hellboy really just like
really good at smashing things?
Yeah, it just seemed really bland. Like Ron Perlman gave so much like
life. I mentioned after he says that, they show him in an elevator and he hits the control panel, and stupid, because he didn't want to hear the music, so he smashes the panel. Oh, but he hadn't reached his floor, and the elevator crashes to the bottom. Stupid.
Yeah. The sword looks kind of cool. I thought it was a different sword at first. Some of the effects look kind of nice, but man,
the monsters are bigger and crazier, I guess, but I don't know. I appreciated the intimacy of the Guillermo. Yeah. How do you say it?
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
I'm probably not even saying it right in my
Either way, I appreciated the intimacy of his films and the practical effects and the monsters that were more relatable in size to Hellboy.
Yeah.
Granted, there was a big bad and all that. That was huge and whatever, but I get that. And that's the first one, right? At the end, he goes in that big sluggy thingy. And
yeah, it's kind of like a Cthulhu situation.
Yeah, whatever. It's all fine. I love the things that are in the water and all that in that basement or whatever it was.
He's hurt. I get it.
Yeah, here they're going larger than life. There's some giant troll thing that smacks him across the landscape. Yeah, like I haven't seen something like that before. I don't know. I'm just freaking. I'm sinking my teeth into it and trying to rip out a big chunk like a great white shark. But there's still hope for me. Like I do love the shot at the end. They did it in one of the other Hellboys, the first one. I think at the end he gets the whole horns and the crown. But I like that shot here. It could be cool. I like I forget who I saw there. The guy who was kind of the head of the task force or whatever.
Oh, is it Ian McShane? Is that who it is? Like his father, whoever plays that kind of, he played Blackbeard back in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I'm sure he's done other things.
Yeah. But he has charisma. I like him. So when I saw him, I was like,
Okay. Mila Jovovich is the main villain, usually the main hero for the Resident Evil. Is like, oh, all right.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. Mind if I interrupt? No, you're precisely on time.
I feel like all of his lines were so bad. I feel like they were all really bad.
It was like a kindergartner wrote them.
Maybe it's just that I'm not used to someone else saying these lines when I just keep wanting it to be Ron Perlman. Because I would think that if Ron Perlman got out of that car and someone shot at him, he would kind of like, instead of freaking out like that, he would just like turn and look at him and be like, hey man, what the hell? I'm on your side. He wouldn't like be like, hey man, I'm on your side. It's like,
they're trying to make it a little zany and like Hellboy's just kind of like I don't give a shit, badass, cocky. You know,
yeah.
he's like Deadpool, right?
Yeah, I will say this though, if they still are going for this like kind of darker and grittier world, I like that you get to see him bring out his gun and he is shooting things like in the head, and it's like, oh, this could be pretty like gory still, something that they got into a little bit in the older ones, but like this one they could really like stretch,
take it to another level. I like that. I'm knocking it pretty bad, but I think there's still enough redeeming. There are still enough redeeming qualities to possibly enjoy this film.
Yeah, that's the
Hellboy is a cool character, cool lore.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Also, I miss some of the other characters. I don't know if that's Liz in the trailer with him, but also Abe Sapien's not there. His water fish friend. Just some of the other people that I really liked and I kind of fell in love with in the other two. It's just like, oh, they might not be there, or they might be trying to, franchise this out. I'm sure they are. You're right. It does feel kind of like Deadpool meets Guardians in the trailer, but also being like, no, we're dark and gritty like the DC universe. Like it's like we're trying to do a lot of things, and it's like I don't know if it's working. I don't know if any of it's working. Yeah, it really bummed me out. I'll just say that much. There's just a lot in this I wasn't a huge fan of. And David Harbour's performance might be the thing that scares me the most, which is really sad because that's something I was like, oh, like he could definitely do this, but there's something weird about it. I don't know what to put or how to put my finger on it, but yeah, I wish I could be more descriptive than that. If anyone else has watched this, let me know what you think. But
his face weirds me out just a little bit.
Yeah, there's something they did like too many prosthetics with it, and I think this is just attributed to like Ron's face. But like David Harbour has a similar kind of face to Ron Perlman to a degree, but Ron Perlman's face is so distinct and unique that if you just paint it, it's like, okay, yeah, you definitely like this creepy monster.
Ron Perlman's not an ugly guy. He just has
he just has a
chiseled facial structure.
Yeah. No, I love Ron Perlman. Also, he voiced Deathstroke way back in the day, so it's my boy. Yeah, wish he could actually have been a cool Deathstroke. I'd buy it. I would have bought that. Yeah. Also, he would have been a good Cable because.
Yeah. So now I had to put a face to the name, David Harbour, the guy from Stranger Things,
sheriff. The sheriff, which I think in that show he's definitely like what Hellboy would be. He's like a gun-toting. He like smokes. He doesn't care what people think. He's just kind of no nonsense. But I feel like you take away that heart that they established with this Hellboy previously. I just don't know if people are going to be able to connect to him. Like that's the big thing about that first one. Like you love him because he loves his teammates. He has a bunch of cats that he watches after. He's like in the first movie, he's like stalking that new hire because he goes on a date with Liz and he does all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Yeah. He even like brings a corpse back to life and he has it like tell him the way around this labyrinth. Oh man. Those first two movies.
I don't know. His look isn't too bad. And did he really get in that kind of shape? That's not really his upper body, is it?
I think so, yeah.
No offense, but
for both of them, you mean?
Well, yeah. Ron Perlman, his looks, no offense, prosthetic. It looks fake.
I don't know. I don't want to say that it was or it wasn't, but I think that they both, in both cases, were just get really strong and then we're just going to spray paint you red. Their faces a little bit, but not so much of the chest and stuff.
Ooh, Jimmy, we're going to cue some elevator music. I'm sending you a link coming in hot.
What's the link to? Oh, gosh.
Just Google photos. Just photos.
Google Photos. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're big chested guys. Maybe it is on the chest. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong.
Ron Perlman's just looks too Ken doll-ish.
It's a little chiseled. You're right. Maybe you can kind of.
I don't even see a vein on there, man.
He doesn't have veins. He doesn't have veins, Joe. He's Hellboy. Well, maybe in the case for David Harbour, because it's not surprising to me anymore that they just try to get their guys jacked out of their minds for these movies because they're like, hey, man, you got like 6 months and you're going to be ripped.
If he really got that jacked, then good on him. Holy
yeah, for sure. Which I wouldn't, like I said, wouldn't be surprised about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit of a new take on it. It's not necessarily, I mean, is this a direct continuation of the first?
No, it's a reboot. It's a reboot.
Yeah, so I'm kind of okay with it. I think he has a ominous look to him, which he should. Yeah, he almost looks a little bit more natural than Perlman did, to be honest.
Maybe, but there's something about his face that is really off-putting. There's too much stuff above the eyes. Where Ron's like Perlman's, they didn't feel the need to do as much. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there's a little bit more wrinkliness kind of a thing, or more weathered appearance than Ron's.
And I swear they're messing up his voice with some prosthetic over his mouth or something. Because when he talks, there's like this kind of weird cadence to it all. It's like,
Oh, you know what it is that weirds me out? It's the eyes.
yeah, there's something about that too. Yeah.
He's got like one red eye, and when he does the brow lift, the one's bigger, and it's kind of like,
Yeah. Also, they're not playing off of one of my favorite things about the first two films is that he was adopted and by supposedly Ian McShane's character, I think it's Ian Shane or McShane. I don't know. But like the whole father-son relationship is a big deal, and they usually played off those in the past movies. But in this one, he's like, some kids, their dads give them Legos or whatever, and he brings out like a big gun. It's like that means more to me if like you show in this quick trailer that you were like taken as a baby Hellboy from this guy who cared about you and raised you. But it's like, who's your dad? Like, if you're just watching this for the first time, you don't know that the director guy is like his dad. You're like, what the heck? Like, he's picked up a gun and said some dads get their kids Legos. What does that even mean? Like, it's like, I know because I know about Hellboy, but everybody else is like, okay, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Not a great trailer. Kind of lessens my hype for it, honestly. I would say I'm more at like a 50 out of 100 now. I'm at like a half and half.
Oh, really? Yeah. You know, I beat it up a little bit, but I'm still sitting. Yeah, I'm good spring weather, maybe 65.
It's coming out, I think, in like April too, which is like a super dangerous time because it comes out in between. I think it's in between
April 12th.
Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. It's like I wouldn't, but
yeah,
like,
it's April 12th.
Off to die. This is an August movie. Guys, listen to me. August, drop it in August. Like, don't do this right now.
I'd say even like more of a fall movie, like.
Oh sure, but I just say like don't drop it if you want to make it summer blockbuster. Drop it at the end of the summer. Like, yeah, it would play well at Halloween for sure. I just right now it's like, I don't think it's right. I don't think it's right, man. It's like Spawn. Don't drop a Spawn movie in May. Drop it in like September. Yeah, but what do I know? I don't understand these things.
I think they're going to over CG this thing. I'm watching the trailer again as we talk.
Yeah, also, Hellboy, like, if he gets hit by that giant troll and he survives it, it kind of lessens a lot of, like, any fights that he has because he's that durable, and you see that in the trailer, and you're like, oh, well, I guess it has to be a lot to kill this dude, which has always been the case. But you think about that first movie, he fights that, what did they call it? It was like that copycat thing, because you cut it, they'd make more of it, but he fights it, and he like grabs the tongue and he's like, what does he say? First date, no tongue or something. And he like whips it. He's like fighting in the subway with it. And it's just like a one-on-one and it's like a brawl. And it's so good. Like, man, the monster design in those movies, like, couldn't you bring Guillermo on as just like a consult? Like, like seriously, it's like, man. Yeah. I feel bad about it. Guillermo del Toro should have got a crack at number 3. And they were setting it up for a third one, Joe. If you remember the end of Hellboy 2, spoilers here, Golden Army, the end of it, he finds out they're having twins, and they're playing that Barry Manilow song, I Can't Smile Without You, because that's how those movies were. They were a little quirky, a little bit of fun. And I was thinking, oh, cool, we're going to see, like, Red as a dad, like with these two babies or whatever. Like, missed opportunity. Yeah. Joe, is there anything else you want to say about Hellboy, this new trailer for the reboot? No? You sure? You're sitting at 65%. Are you sure you're okay with that?
Yeah, I think redeeming qualities is, he does look good. He's a little different than what we've seen in the past, but being that's a reboot, it is an R rating, and just from the trailer, you see a few moments where they capitalize on that, and probably will furthermore. Things I'm not excited for that automatically deduct a few points. Poor taste in humor.
Yeah.
Bad writing. And then also predictability. I'm afraid it's going to be like, like the elevator thing.
Yeah, that whole bit, I was like, Man, and they show you so much in this trailer. Like the whole like him talking to those suits in that like nice place, and then it cuts to the elevator, but then it cuts like the final fight scene, but then it cuts to those trolls, and then it cuts to the very beginning of the movie, presumably with like when he's getting shot at earlier. It's like there's so much that I really think they did too much. They did too much for this trailer. Yeah, I don't know if it's considered a teaser or not, or if it is. I think it's the first official trailer, so it might not even be a teaser. But still, it's too much.
Yeah, first official trailer for sure. It's plenty long. I mean, if that's a teaser, then holy crap.
It's only 1:19. That's not long for these trailers, Joe. Usually these trailers are like 2.5 minutes. Like there's like 45 more seconds.
No, dude, it's 2 minutes and like 10 or 19 seconds.
It's like 1 minute and 19 seconds, isn't it?
Just watch it. It's long.
Was I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's long.
Look it up. Fact check. What's it say?
This one is 2:39. This one is 2:19. This one's
maybe I thought it was
2:30. Yeah, it's plenty long. That is for sure.
Well, it felt short, but not in a good way. Yeah, I don't know.
You just want it to be over with, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it has some redeeming qualities. It does. I do like the lead actor playing Hellboy. I liked him in Stranger Things. Probably the only thing I liked out of that show, which I quit watching halfway through. I don't get why people are so obsessed. Most of the CG looked pretty good, I will say. But
I thought you just said the CG was not, or it was too much CG.
I think they're going to do too much. I just think, a couple moments looked okay. Sure. The big troll thing, I think, is going to be a downfall. I think that's stupid. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a toss-up, and it's going to be hard for anybody to, make the effort to go see it between any of the Marvel movies.
Yeah, it's a bad time to come out.
Yeah.
Well, I was wrong about the time. I guess it is 2:19. I'll believe you, Joe. For some odd reason, maybe I looked at another one earlier today, and it was like someone else had put a fake one together because it had leaked before this, and then they just put out the official trailer. It's like it leaks, and then they probably saw it, and they're like, just put it out quick.
Yeah. No, not that I need to prove you wrong. I was just saying.
Nope, it's okay. I'm a man who can admit when he's wrong.
David Harbour training for Hellboy. He really did get in that good of shape.
Okay, but like look up Ron Perlman because I'm sure he got into some shape for it too. Like they have to do that. That's like part of the job. I don't feel like it's that hard. Like I know physically, yes, it is demanding. But if I paid you like a couple $1 million to be in a movie, and then I said, okay, but for the next 6 months, you're going to eat really healthy on a diet that we determine, and you're going to work out with this personal trainer, like you could get jacked, man. Like it could just happen. You just need to like have the time and money to do it.
Well, that's the thing about it is that there's professionals that are putting together this plan and saying, it's a done deal. It's going to happen. Just follow the plan. I'd be like, okay, and I don't have to worry about any other stresses but working out and living.
Yeah, I remember seeing this like thing behind the scenes for DC, and they have like one guy who was like a head, and I'm sure Marvel's got this too, where they have like they send all their actors through this boot camp basically, and he's kind of like, all right, well, if you're going to be Superman, we're going to have to focus on these things because we want you to be like, huge chested, and just be like kind of ripped everywhere, and kind of figuring that out, and then also figuring out for like Wonder Woman, like how they wanted to get her in shape for that role and still be like, beefy and whatnot. It's like, yeah, man, these are strong people doing CrossFit. Lots of CrossFit. So much CrossFit. Yeah. Yep. Except for Batman. He does all that CrossFit, but he's relatively slow on his feet. Yeah, he's slow. Anyway, Joe, let's move on. Not a lot of news this week, and it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show, but that's okay because it's that time of the show that we like to call
Timekillers.
That's right. It's time Killers. Joe's
Sorry, that took a lot out of me.
It's the games we've been playing, movies we've been watching, TV shows we've been viewing. Joe, hit me with it, baby. What you been killing time with?
Oh, I'm on day 35 of Call of Duty Blackout. No, I'm just kidding. I think I have skipped one day in there somewhere. Oh, that might be a lie.
No, I think you maybe have. You got a win by yourself.
Playing around Thanksgiving.
You got a solo win by yourself. So there's that.
Yeah, 4 duo wins and 1 solo win, and I've only played like maybe 8 matches in solo, 10. Haley's played all the others, so Yeah, that wasn't too bad. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of that, I guess, as far as watching stuff. Watched that last season of The Ranch, and all I could think of is, how is this still going? Like, is it just the Sam Elliott's on here? Because Sam Elliott's great, but this whole dramatic breaking up and doing dumb shit and stuff going south and teary-eyed bull crap, it's like, why?
Yeah, I don't really know like what the show is supposed to do because I think it wants to be a drama, but they made it a multicam sitcom. Because honestly, I'd rather have them shoot it not that way if it's going to be serious. You know what I'm saying?
It's too serious. Like, originally it was kind of okay. Like, they got some serious moments in there, but then there was some comedic relief, and it kind of melded together okay. Sometimes a little over dramatic.
Oh my gosh, everything was over dramatic.
But it would rein in and go back the other way and kind of flip flop back and forth. Now it's just like, hey, we're gonna show you what depression looks like.
Yeah.
And they just flatline it right to the end, and it's like, oh, like, how is this even plausible? I think they're trying to figure out a way to get people off the show. Like, I think, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear how this season ends, the most recent season, part 6, I think, skip ahead a few minutes. I don't know. So at the end, when him and that girl break up, they're married.
Well, he breaks up with Abby?
Dude, where have you been? You're not done with it?
No, because it's so depressing. I was like, eh.
Oh, yeah. Abby's like, I think we need to split up. And he's just like,
they're married and they have a baby, right?
I know, yeah.
Oh
But he lied to her about selling the cattle that year. He's like, yeah, I got him sold. Yeah. And,
why?
and she needs to get a job and all that, and he won't take 10 cents lower per pound. It's a big deal and all that bull crap. And the stupid, what's the word? Stupid piece of crap tries to not con his dad, but guilt trip his dad into putting his brand on his cattle, and his dad won't do it. Like, you got to make your own way, kid. And
my
God, I mean, it's just like, what the hell, you selfish little prick.
I wonder if they did this to like offset the fact that Danny Masterson is out right now.
Yeah, or she really did have a kid. That was her kid, and she needs to get off the show to take care of her kid. So they had to write her off somehow, just the way they wrote off Danny Masterson. It's like, really? Biggest spoiler of them all for this season, people. Skip ahead a minute. They kill him off?
Maybe.
Off a cliff?
Maybe. They didn't find his body.
Yeah, okay. He's been living in a cave down by the river for the past season.
The thing that's so hard to stomach, and the problem I have with the show is that they do so much to make it feel like that 70s show by bringing in not only these two main characters, but then also having in like a revolving door of a 70s show alumni that when they're swearing, which usually they don't need to do, but they do it because they're like, oh yeah, this is the show where we can swear, so we should swear. So they swear a lot, and the only one who makes it work is Sam Elliott. But then it gets so serious, and it's so hard to take it seriously when you have freaking Kelso basically freaking out and screaming and swearing. You're like, what am I watching? And you're supposed to feel bad for this guy. This is the guy you're supposed to be like, man, I feel for you. But he makes so many dumb decisions.
Look at him. I'm like, this guy's a freaking idiot. They should put him in a mental ward for being too stupid.
He wears his backwards hat constantly, and he's like, nobody takes me seriously. I'm like, that's because you don't take yourself seriously, man. You look like a teenager when you're walking around like this, and you're like running a ranch, and you're like,
stupid.
So dumb. Yeah, so you watch the rest of The Ranch, which is great.
Yeah, just the root on for Sam Elliott,
Sam is the best part of that show, and they actually develop out his character a little bit more at the tail end of season 5 or part 5, which I really liked because for so long, all these characters were like bad people, and he's the only one who's changing. Everyone else didn't change, but he is like starting to see the folly of his ways. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was good. Yeah. He's so good. And I'm like,
I mean, he doesn't totally come around the bend, but he does develop and better himself as a character and as a person. But I think it also goes to show, like, every moment he does something kind of maybe unexpected or does a little bit of this or that or interacts with the baby. And you just see how good of an actor Sam Elliott is. Like he belongs as an actor. Like
He deserves a better show. Sam, you should go do another show. Do anything else. You're better than this. You're the best thing on the show.
I like the role for him. If the show was better, his role is great. And, it's ranching. I like it. It's got a good premise. And then they take it and they're just like, let's just shit all over everybody's emotions.
Shoot it like, and this is just like to akin it to something Joe. Shoot it like you shoot Smallville. Close-ups on the faces, not the multicam. Like, make it a serious show where you actually show the ranch and it's not just like 5 sound stages. Like, go and make the ranch like a real ranch show, Yeah,
what are the sound stages on the show? It's the front porch, the kitchen, living room.
Which is probably all one big, like, I shouldn't say that it's all in a sound stage, but that's one set probably. It's like that.
The bar, right?
The bar, for sure. Yep.
They've done the barn in the past, like inside of it, but this season it would have changed out to Colt's house that he's rebuilding.
I remember looking this up, like Frasier.
The cabin in the woods where Rooster used to live.
They talk about this for each new season that they do like so many new sets, and for this one they even had like a John Deere tractor set for like part 5. I was like, oh, they must have a lot that happens in this one. I was like, they had 2 or 3 scenes in there. I thought, oh my gosh, there's kind of a lot of stuff you put into that like little set, like to just be like, we'll use it a couple times, then we're leaving. It's like,
well, if it was easy to build, it was easy to build. It's just a facade.
No, but it's not that. It's about money, man. It's about money and time, because you got to put all that stuff in there, and it's like you put all this detail into this world, and then you're just like, just take it away. I'm sure they reused it in some facet, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of done with it if that's the case. If they break up after they have like the baby and get married, it's like,
just for that next step of dramatic.
Is this gonna end with him like writing a letter and doing something bad? Like I feel like he's like a danger to himself and everybody. Like I really do, because like
I feel like he's gonna fall off his roof when he's roofing his new house.
Would the show end if he died though? Like, could you just do Sam Elliott just being like an angry?
I'm pretty sure Ashton Kutcher is the one that got this thing off the ground.
I think so too. He probably never kill himself off. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. The show's got
people are probably fed up after this season, unless they're stupid suckers that just feed off a sad, dramatic bullcrap.
Yeah, and the problem is Danny Masterson's character Rooster was kind of like the biggest source of comedic relief, and that wasn't even a lot. It was like very kind of touch and go, and they basically gave him a huge dramatic thing to deal with at the end of part 5. It was like, oh my, why? Like, and they wrote him off, and then he wrote in to people saying, you should watch this show. These people spend so much time trying to make you smile for 30 minutes. I was like, this show is not about smiling for 30 minutes at a time. It's
not even close.
Sad. Yeah, it's like, I have anxiety. Like, I joke about this, and I've said it probably here on the show. I get worried about the cows that don't exist, because they're like, oh yeah, like our cattle might get caught in this fire, and I'm like, oh my god, no! And it's like,
yeah, exactly. They literally push anxiety on you, like, let's make you feel bad. I know you're worried about work tomorrow too, but let's make you feel bad tonight.
Exactly. It's like, that's not for me what I'm interested in, especially looking at the format of the show. It's so weird to me. It's like what Malcolm in the Middle did, but flipped, where Malcolm in the Middle was shot in that way, but it was a comedy throughout. Like, this show is like, we took the comedy format and we're like super serious, but we swear and stuff. And it's like, okay, this is trivial. I didn't think the show would make it this far, Joe. Honestly, I did not think we'd get to part 6 or whatever. I was like, we'll get three parts.
And Rooster's ex-girlfriend, the one that had her ex-husband show up and chase Rooster off.
Yeah.
She turns out to be a druggie now.
Perfect, because she's a thief. That's why. Oh, God.
Yeah, she's the one stealing the money from the bar, and she's also addicted to pills and stuff. And
what's up with writing on this, guys?
Have you seen Dak Shepard?
I haven't seen him yet. No.
Yeah, he shows up. He's there. And, he's kind of a cool character. He's funny. He's just as bad as Colt. He's like Rooster's replacement. He's a cousin from Sam Elliott's long lost, or Bo Bennett's long lost brother who died a while back.
Why?
Or Bo's brother died in Vietnam, yeah. And his mom told him on his deathbed, you're related to the Bennetts. They live in Colorado or something like that.
I feel like half the writing and the people who are doing this are bailing water out of a sinking ship, but the other half is like constantly bailing water into it. They're like, and they're like, no, and they're like, it's okay, everyone's got problems now, and they're like, not everyone can have problems.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And this guy's problem. Okay, he was in. It's nothing to joke about, but he was in. So he's in the army, and he did a tour in Iraq, and he has PTSD. So every time he hears like a fire alarm go off, or like he knows a lot about trucks, so he's helping Bo work on his truck. Pulls out the air cleaner, turns around, he's talking to Colt, and Bo accidentally misses the hanger with one of those hanging work lamps, and it drops and the bulb shatters, and he freaks out. He's like, "Hey, what the F, man? Got my hands in there!" Like, just like, and then goes storming off like he was about to kill him. But it's like, geez, old Pete, great. This guy's just a basket case killer.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you can't, like, that's the problem is like they're starting to tackle like more serious problems, and then they're also going to try to make it the jokey and comedic too. It's like, oh gosh, just like don't anymore. Like, I liked it. There's one episode in the beginning of I think this last part that had like no laugh track, because it was like a very serious episode, even when they would make jokes. And I thought that was better because like I don't need to be told when to laugh. Like, I get when there's supposed to be something kind of funny. I can chuckle at something. So I kind of would rather have them do that. But yeah, the ranch, I don't know if I'll go back to it. Seems weird. There's something that's
it's taken a dive. It's taken a dive. Last season I could put up with it. This season I'm just like, ooh.
I can't believe we made it to the end of it though. There's like usually 10 episodes per season part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for like, they're like, and then in the next season, Bo Bennett gets addicted to horse races, and he's like, oh, I gotta get on this, call my bookie, you know, like that. I'm like, oh god,
that would probably be better.
Yeah, well, just more Sam Elliott. More Sam Elliott. Just, I would love it. Yeah, or they just do a full 180 and the whole show is just jokes and there's never any problems. We're like, well, it looks like we made it to market this year and it was very efficient. We got double the price. We don't have to ranch next year. Hooray! Like, you know, just like that. Like, that would be great. I would love that. Yeah. Is that pretty much everything you've been killing time with?
I think so. Oh, I watched Venom.
Yeah, dude. Tell us about Venom.
I finally saw it.
And
I love Venom. I like the character. I think everything about it was okay. There's just nothing exceptional about it.
I think that's a really good way to put it.
It's just it's short. It's just a decent flick that's fun and fan service. It's like, if you like Venom in any way, this is him in all his glory.
Just without Spider-Man. So.
Without Spider-Man, but you know, hopefully that's in the cards, you know. But
if Sony has their way.
If Sony has their way, they might screw it up real bad. But
yeah, probably.
They show Venom. I mean, the symbiotes in general, they show off in a cool way. I think. I like their form when they're not on somebody. I like the way they show the interactions with people. When he comes off as like a separate head that one time, okay, but yeah. I didn't quite like that. But when he turns into Venom and does stuff, everything I loved. I think it was really well done. Special effects are pretty good. Couple moments I wish they wouldn't have shown in the trailer that they showed in this one, but I get why they did. It's just I almost feel like they should have made it a little longer so that they had opportunities for one or two other moments of him as Venom doing something like that, like the convenience store scene. So, but yeah, villain pretty much one-dimensional, but it made sense. It's not like, and it wasn't too far out there to where you're just like, yeah, it's just kind of short and sweet. Kind of leaves you wanting more. And like there's a little bit of a void there because it wasn't quite exceptional, but I don't think they did anything wrong. Is that a bad way to put it?
No, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So I'll probably watch it again. I bought it. Was it worth $20? Maybe not, but to see Venom in all his glory, I love it. I want a symbiote. I want to be that.
Yeah.
All the time.
Okay, so I need to know your favorite scene and your final score.
To be honest, I like the Riot Venom fight before they're doing the whole, I like when he engages them on the bridge or whatever, and he's dodging the attacks and stuff. That was pretty cool. So I like that. I don't think the comedy was overdone either. I thought it was somewhat well done. It wasn't too corny either.
Yeah.
I don't. They didn't show off a lot or do justice to how Venom's mind is made up that he wants to stay.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and keep the rocket from launching. I don't think they really like all of a sudden in a minute he's just like, well, what made you? Eddie's like, what made you change your mind? You did, Eddie. It's like, huh? When? How? Well, I guess he's in his thoughts. Whatever. Maybe just let that one go. Okay. Maybe.
But like one line of dialogue could have fixed it, where like Eddie's like,
Probably.
that's BS, Venom, and Venom's like, okay, you caught me. He's like, I want this whole planet for myself. Like he just get like really greedy and be like, there's so many delicious things on this planet for me. That would have been good.
But yeah, so you want to know what I give it for a score? Honestly, I mean, it's short. It leaves you wanting more. Like I said, I don't think they really did anything wrong, so I can't really downplay it too much. But I'd take away a couple points just for some of the things that they could have substantiated a bit more. Sure. The fight to stop the rocket and all that was a little anticlimactic. It just like boom, bam, happened, done. I mean, I like the way it kind of went down in the end. It was like, oh, okay, you thought, oh, no chance. Oh,
doesn't sound like a score to me, Joe. I'm not hearing a number.
I'm trying to get to why I'm taking points off. That needless to say, I'm giving it about an 8. I was happy with it. I was entertained. I wouldn't call it a high quality film or a deep film. It doesn't require you to think whatsoever. Just kind of sit back and enjoy for an hour and what was it, 20 minutes?
No, I think it was like it's an hour and a half or 2. I'll check it. I'll check quick. You keep talking.
Either. I don't have any more to say. No, it didn't feel very long. It felt very quick and to the point. Boom, bam, bam, hit all its marks, and it was done.
2 hours and 20 minutes, Joe.
Told you. 2 hours and 20 minutes?
That's the problem, because the first 45 minutes of this is not Venom related at all. And it's just like setting stuff up and you're like, oh, please do anything. And it's just like, go.
I suppose. I like when he does get infected and all that. I think it's pretty good. They don't do a good job of establishing Eddie and his relationship. Like, you don't really feel it. You're just kind of like, okay, this is just all the formula to get the thing together, right?
Yeah.
So you don't really feel anything. It's not shot in a very beautiful way. It's very straightforward, kind of TV show-ish.
8 out of 10, Joe, for a movie that is, you basically said, unremarkable but has good moments. That's pretty good. Like,
yeah, if you put it in that unremarkable movie category, it's an 8.
The problem is your personal bias for Venom is high, right?
Yeah, my personal bias for Venom is so high, I can't give it a bad score.
Yeah, it's hard. I get that. I get that. That's how I was.
You can eat my pancreas any day.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah, I watched it with you. I still love the riot, or not the riot scene, but the SWAT team, that fight. I know it's to save on money. I totally get that, but it bleeds in a lot better where it's like, oh yeah, he's got these smoke canisters they hit him with, there's tear gas, and he's just fighting everybody, and that is so cool to me. And there's also this moment at the end where you see Stanley, and both of us are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were both like, it's Stanley.
You're like, oh, and it's weird that Stanley knows that he's Venom. Like, he's like, oh yeah, both of you are doing better or whatever.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, more or less he knows. Like, he's one of the Watcher informants or whatever, so he just knows everything. It's fine. Yeah. If you want to see what I gave it, though, you could check out my review. It's right over here. You can check it, or I don't know if I'll put it in the comments. I don't if I remember to do it.
An 8 is a high score. No one would ever give it that, but I did enjoy it.
Not true. Joe, remember we looked at this? Like, the audience score was that, but then like the critics score was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Remember?
And I feel like I'm somewhere in between that, so technically I should be falling.
There's nothing wrong, dude. It's your score,
what was
baby.
The critics were like 30 or 28%.
They were like 29 or something.
Yeah. And then the audience was like way up in the, I don't even remember.
Quick check is the score 29% for critics, 85% on. This is just Rotten Tomatoes, though. I don't know what Metacritic.
Well, that's fine. So we got a general idea. So if I say 8, that means most of the audiences thought it was enjoyable. All right, I think it's enjoyable.
On Metacritic, they do is 35, but I think that's, again, it's mostly, that's all critic reviews. I think, like, as someone who falls in between, like, the world of being a critic and part of, like, the general populace, I typically seem to fall in that zone as well.
Mhm.
And I think it's hard because, like, you look at Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which critics loved because it was kind of different than what they expected, and audiences, like people who were just fans of the stuff, hated. It's like just the flip here.
Yeah, a
of that.
fan and a critic they're totally different people.
Yeah, exactly.
One's
Plus,
looking more for the art itself,
Yeah.
and the other one is looking for does it all jive? Does it all fit together properly? Is that how that would really happen? Okay, based on the comics, I don't think that would happen. Nope. Okay. Well, yeah. All those things have to be factored. So.
You have to be predisposed to source material too, because like if I were to review a horror film, even if it was like the best horror film on the planet, like I would be looking at, be like, all right, what's the story? Are the characters cool? You know, like things like that. And it might be like, well, that's not like a fan of a horror movie. Is like, I want to watch people be dumb and get killed, and that's a 10 out of 10. Like for me, I'd be like, that is a waste of time, and it's like a 2 out of 10. So
not totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm a fan of horror, and that's I'm kind of going through the. Okay,
I'm just saying, like a regular person, you know, like so it's a lot of that too. Yeah, that's why it's hard. But then, like, you know, if it's fan Jimmy, you know, like look back at like the first Avengers, like I'd give that. It's like when Hulk punches that Leviathan, I'm like 10 out of 10 right there. I'm like, that's incredible to me. Like, or Hulkbuster versus Hulk and Ultron, I'm like, yep, that's all I needed. Like,
that moment didn't do a hell of a lot for me. It was good.
But... You shut your mouth. No, that did a lot for me, Joe. I'm not talking about you, man. If that they punch.
I agree when the Hulk punches the big flying monster.
You know, I was thinking, Joe. So Hulk punches that thing in the first movie, right? And the Leviathan, it flips up and over. And then when Hulk and Hulkbuster meet with their fists, it does the same thing. Do you think that Tony calculated out the force needed to stop that Leviathan in its tracks? And he's like, I got to put that as the base power in these punches. It's like when they do that again, I was like, is that just like a little like thing that like Tony Stark would have been like, oh my God, if we need to, you know, bring Hulk down, he can at least punch that thing and it could like flip up and over him. Yeah, I think about these things a lot because I love them. And if they make a Ghost Rider film, I would, as a fan, would probably give it a 10 out of 10, as long as it isn't the Nick Cage craziness again. Oh, man. Guillermo del Toro, you should direct Ghost Rider. There we go. Yeah, Venom, there's some really good parts in it still, too. Again, seeing it in theaters was a lot of fun because I had a good audience who was, like, happy and laughing. And
was it almost a packed house?
It was a packed house. Yeah, I think so. Venom made a lot of money. Thursday night. Yeah.
Wow. Good.
Just about. Yeah, I think
That's
so. And
good. And I am glad it did well. I mean,
I wanted it to be middling because I wanted them to sell this to Marvel so Marvel can take Tom Hardy and be like, you're our Venom. You know what I mean? It's like,
please, somehow, Sony, get your shit together.
Just think about Tom Hardy talking to freaking Robert Downey Jr. and then in his head, there's Venom who's like, we could eat him right now, you know? And then he's like, shut up. And Robert Downey's like, what, dude? Who are you talking to? He's like, no, just I'm here. Yeah. I'm talking to you.
Then they figure out he's weak to fire and sound. Iron Man's just like,
he's like, it's so loud. It's so loud. I don't think earplugs would stop it. I think it's all over him, which is cool too. Because when they're doing the flashbangs, you can see it just a little bit in the shadows, like the symbiote comes off of him. It's like, that's cool. Yeah,
he's so powerful. Yet you figure that out, and it's like, no big deal.
And I do like how candid they are with his weaknesses, because we knew the weaknesses going in. But when he's talking to his ex, and she's kind of driving him around after she's kind of helped him out. He's like saying, he doesn't like loud sounds. And then Venom's also like, and fire, tell her I don't like fire. He's just like, here are my two big weaknesses, you know, sound and fire. Let's go stop a rocket. It's like how he survives. Spoilers for Venom. Yeah, so I'll talk briefly about what I've been killing time with. Finished up Red Dead Redemption 2. There will be a review out on that, so look forward to that. I'm working on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which seems like it'll never end. Like Red Dead Redemption 2. Smash Brothers when I can. I did watch the recent Sabrina Holiday episode. I'm I'm gonna be honest with everybody here.
Oh yeah, I didn't
Just,
get there yet. I was watching the last episode of the season. I haven't hit that one.
this is just a you and me thing, and Joe obviously because he's here. I'm kind of done with Sabrina. I don't know what it is. I feel like I can tell when the budget cuts out because they'll do like this thing will happen and then they'll cut away and then they'll cut back to it and it'll be something else. It's like, oh, and there's a lot of like let's shake a thing or drop a prop somewhere and they're like, oh, there's a spirit in the house, and it's like you you got money, guys. Like, I also don't really like Sabrina anymore. I don't really like her friends. I don't really like. I like Hilda. I don't like Zelda. I don't really like anybody in this show. And as much as the sets are cool and I kind of like the vibe, I think I'm out. The next season's coming out in like April, and I'm like, I just don't even care.
Because so am I.
Yeah, I'm like
finished it.
like, you know what? I get you're trying to go for like a Stranger Things vibe. It works at Halloween, plays really well. I also don't get where her power set move, like it ends or begins, because sometimes she uses magic, sometimes she seems completely helpless. It's so confusing to me how like powerful these witches are. It's like, what? And I'm just so sick of the whole like praise Satan and like everything is like, oh, this is the honorable council, but it'll be the unhonorable council or something. It's just like every little like, ooh, like that's a funny little joke. It's like, no, it's not. Like,
yeah, like I don't know. I think they're appealing to a slightly less experienced and educated audience.
maybe I feel like it's a CW show like 10 years ago.
Exactly. They're going for a pretty dumb audience. I mean, well, and the CW is like left and right. They're kind of throwing out shit monsters. I mean,
okay, that's not true. I think they're DC stuff.
Charmed. They rebooted Charmed. What the hell?
Know,
the first version was shitty.
Arrow and hey, the first version of Charmed had some good stuff in it. I think the Arrow stuff, the Arrowverse stuff, is pretty good. Like that's fine.
Yeah, no, I think the Flash is really good, to be honest.
I love Legends of Tomorrow. That show is just a cluster.
They've kind of hit a niche there with those. I think clearly very successful, great following. But yeah, like I feel like they're trying, and the way they cast some of these, like Charm, for instance. I barely looked into it, but I saw like the previews and whatnot, and I heard it tanked immediately, but like their casting for it was a little odd. Like I think they're trying to be hip and with it, like, you know, like this. I don't even know if high school girls appeal to that anymore. Do they? Do they look at that and go, "Yeah, that's gonna be awesome"?
I can't speak to that.
Neither can I, but we need to get a panel on the phone now. What do you guys think?
Yeah, exactly. Because like obviously a lot of these shows, the Sabrina probably isn't geared towards my demographic, and that's totally fine. I appreciated some of the things in it. I'm out. I think I'm just out. And it's like, that's the problem with some of this Netflix stuff, even with The Ranch, which probably should be kind of geared towards like my age group.
Oh, absolutely. I think it is.
Yeah, I'm falling fast. And like Fuller House just popped up with a new season. I'll probably watch that, but I already know what it's going to be. And like, it's not going to change. I know you won't, Joe.
I don't understand Fuller House. Who the hell cares?
I care just enough, and once in a while I will laugh, but for the most part I won't. And you know what I like about it? It makes me smile. A lot of shows don't make me smile anymore, Joe, and I love entertainment that I actually laugh at, because like,
buddy, it's not Frasier.
Dude, that's because nothing is Frasier. Frasier is the great, and I want to go back to Frasier, but then I think of how it all ends, and then I think, am I emotionally ready to do this again? Like, watch the entire thing and know how it's going to end. It's the journey, obviously, that's the most important thing. But Frasier's, it's such a, I don't even want them to make like a future for Frasier now, because I don't want them to like, not that they could tarnish it. I worry that the writing wouldn't be there, because like Frasier's writing was freaking good.
Well, what years did Frasier run through?
90s. I think it was the 90s.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. I think it did.
It had to have.
Yeah.
At that time period, I feel like the writers were more.
Yeah, man.
They just related better. You know, it's like in SNL back in the day. You know, maybe a bit better than it is now. some of the classic stuff, when Farley and all those guys were on there, Chris Rock. Oh.
We didn't have more options. That's the problem, Joe. These writers have like gone and done. There's so many different things you can do now, like streaming wise, and you can write for all these different things. Because back in the day, it was like, what else are you going to watch at 10:30 on a Saturday night? It's the only thing, and it's like the biggest comedy thing. So I think it was just like it was a rite of passage to be on that show and go through it. Now it's like you could be a good writer.
Quality suffers because there are too many options.
There's so many options.
Saturated market and all that.
And I look at a show like Modern Family, which I'm also still trying to watch, but everybody in that show is a bad person now. Like they've all turned into
Chuck Lorre, man. It's Chuck Lorre. Big Bang Theory, Modern Family.
Oh, Chuck Lorre or whatever, like that whole thing.
Yeah, doesn't he do Modern Family?
Does he?
Am I getting that wrong?
I don't think so.
What else does he do? He does some other shows.
I'll look it up right now.
Do the elevator music.
Oh, I know this guy. Well, he did 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, Young Sheldon, Dharma and Greg, Mom. Yeah, I don't think he does Modern Family.
Okay, he doesn't. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I'll probably watch Fuller House, but that's just because it'll be like something I can watch, like, and it'll just be like watch one episode a night and kind of cap off my night with something happier. Because, like, honestly, this other stuff I've been watching is like, everything's so like sad and depressing, and maybe that's just like a reflection of how our like millennials, Joe, kind of see the world, and like they're like, we got to do something that caters to them, so something kind of depressing all the time. But like, put something out there that's happy, right? Like,
I like to look at examples. I also like to look at examples such as, come on, everybody likes the old slapstick comedy. I love my favorite movie of all time, The Great Outdoors with John Candy, Dan Aykroyd. That is classic, like slapstick comedy, and just it's good, wholesome comedy. They don't do anything out of their way. It's natural. It's relatable, and it was good. Christmas Vacation, good slapstick comedy, good writing, ad lib, and it flows and it's iconic. Whereas now everything's so cheap and grabbing low-hanging fruit, like it's bountiful and it's freaking annoying. Like, you'll never see a movie as good as like The Great Outdoors, or there's a reason why every family ever, and I apologize if your family doesn't, but pretty much everybody traditionally watches Christmas Vacation at Christmas time. Like, my family does it probably twice.
Okay, good, because my family never does, so it's good.
I'm sorry, pal, but
that's okay.
It is such a good movie. Like, The Blessing. And instead of saying a blessing, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the, like, come on, unexpected, funny, but like just original humor. Him on the flying saucer and the going down the hill. Then he uses a special oil or whatever polish that his company was testing out, prototype stuff. It's like, this baby's gonna go so. Gone across the Walmart parking lot. Great. The Christmas tree going under the logging truck. Awesome. Good comedy. Nowadays, what do? I don't even know because I choose not to remember. It's just.
Yeah, we haven't watched a good comedy in a while. The closest things I can think of are like the Johnny English ones, but they're kind of more British, but there's still a lot of slapstick in those. But I feel like you kind of have moved away from like the classic old like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore stuff, where it's like there's a lot of just like kind of crazy scenarios in a somewhat realistic world, but there's like a few people who are just like insane, and you're just like, okay, I get that. But then again, like maybe the problem is it's we don't need to dive into this, but like I love Kung Pao Enter the Fist. I love it so much. It is not a politically correct film by any stretch, and like and the funniness of that film to me is not because of that. It's that this is such a wacky movie that they put a lot of wacky dialogue into, and I just take it for what it is, not like, what's the subtext trying to say? Like that's not the purpose of these films. Yeah, I guess the last good comedy I saw was maybe, not that it was great, but Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle had some moments. It had a few moments. That was it.
Jumanji? Yeah, it had a few moments, but otherwise it's just like,
I just like The Rock. I like The Rock. I like The Rock not playing The Rock because he's supposed to be like a weak, like young teenager, and so he acts like that for most of the movie, and that is really funny to me. Where he's like, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry." Like that is so funny to watch The Rock say that. Like, oh my gosh, like
there is something charismatic about The Rock that kind of like you just feel like you gotta. It's The Rock, man. I want to watch The Rock do funny stuff. But beyond that, it's kind of like the premise was okay. Like I get it. And did I like it the other way around where the game comes to life? I think so.
Sure.
You know? But
Jack Black was amazing in it. Kevin Hart just plays the same guy in every movie. That's the problem. Rock is always trying to do different things. Jack Black was wonderful playing like a young girl. Like that's very funny. And then it's like Kevin Hart's just like, I'm just gonna yell. I'm a short guy and I yell because I'm a short guy.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to be the big brooding jock, right?
Yeah, which I guess kind of works, but
it does work. But yeah, he is kind of the same person in every movie. He's good at it. I mean, sometimes it. For the most part, it works, but yeah, it's very one-dimensional. Man, yeah, I don't know.
It's just a long roundabout way of saying I'm done with Sabrina. The chilling adventures. What's so chilling? Honestly, I haven't really felt the chills, and a lot of the makeup and stuff.
They said praise Satan
with the demons and stuff. They don't look like super duper good. And the problem is some of these things you need to show less of to be scarier, because if you don't have the budget and you don't have the time to make these things look really cool, don't spend so much camera time just like right on them. It's just like oh, I'm picking out all the flaws right now. I'm just like, this is fake. This is horrible. Like Bad Baddie or whatever, Joe. That's like, oh, she was kind of scary at first, but then they like kept showing her the whole time. And I was like, well, now it's not scary anymore because like I know.
Don't see that. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was that. Remember, she was like kind of like that vulture witch kind of lady, and she was like infecting their dreams, and it was a completely like filler episode.
Oh yeah, she looked horrible.
Yeah, it did not look good. It was like, and they have more of that in this Christmas episode, and I was like, oh God, like, yeah. Also, I don't like where I think Sabrina's kind of going. It's like she's kind of going more evil, and she's kind of like left Harvey, and she's like, and the whole season is about not signing your name in this stupid book. Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with you. I'm done, Sabrina. I'm sorry. I tried. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I've been killing time with. But now we get to move into my personal favorite segment of the show, community feedback and questions. I love it so much, Joe. Let me make a quick timestamp so I do not forget. Because if I forget, then it'll be harder for future Jimmy. And man, that guy. I want to get on his bad side. Yes, Joe. I asked our Legionnaires to share with us some of their favorite gaming holidays, like stories and stuff like that. I think I probably asked this before, but it's always something I love to revisit because it always puts a smile on my face. So we got this first one in here from Ryan. He says, I still remember the Christmas Day present of the N64 with Super Mario 64. My brother and I spent hours playing together. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. That reminds me of like my birthday. I got N64. It was great. Not this birthday. That would have been crazy too. This one comes in from Missile Mage. He says, this isn't my story, but the year the PlayStation 1 was released, it was completely sold out in the United Kingdom. My mom was trying to get one for my brother, but everywhere was sold out. She was at the counter in one shop, though, where a customer was bringing one back because someone else had bought one. My mom said she would take it, and that's how my brother got a PS1. Talk about the right place at the right freaking time. Like, that is, like, well done, Missile's mom. Like, she's just like, and I'll take it. She's like, can we do a deal for it? No, just take it immediately. That's cool. Joe, is there any gaming, like, holiday memories that you have that you can think off the top of the dome?
Oh, I remember, somehow my sister and I ended up sharing a PS1 at one point. The only game I played on it was Spider-Man, and I think I had Gundam that I played for 2 days, and that was it. I didn't play a lot of that thing. Then we had the PS2, which I bought off of one of my friends from high school for $20 when I was a senior or junior. And I remember I got the game Area 51 for Christmas. I'm pretty sure it was for Christmas. And all Christmas break, I played it every day because the story was so gripping, and you kept going deeper and deeper into Area 51, Illuminati type stuff, man. Literally, the Illuminati's referenced in there.
Oh.
It's really cool. That's my fondest Christmas holiday memory related to games, is getting that game and playing it nonstop, having nightmares.
Cool. I'm trying to think of what mine would be. I know there was a few years where my mom would just be like, all right, write down all the games. And I remember one year I even printed off like little pictures with them too, so she could go into Best Buy. And this is like when I was working at Best Buy. This was like a while ago. But she would go in, and then like there are other people there who knew me, and they're like, oh, Jimmy, oh yeah, we can help you. And she would just kind of like grab a few of the games off the list or whatever, which was really nice. But I think last year, as a gift, she got me Breath of the Wild. And I didn't have a Switch then, but I kind of had asked for it because Levi was going to loan it to me, because I was like, I got to play this game. And I remember playing it last year, and it was so cozy. It was such a perfect game to play like at Christmas time. It was so warm, and I was like, this is great. So I really enjoyed that. So that's maybe that, but mostly just because like I should just say my mom just makes every holiday just amazing. That's just how I've been so lucky. Like, she's the best. She's the greatest. Yeah, that's probably it. Let's get into questions though. Missile Mage, again, coming at us with questions. He always does. Thank you so much, Missile Mage. You're great about this. Over on our Discord, he says, if you've played Final Fantasy 13, which I don't think either of us have, Joe, but it's fine. There are moments in the game where the character's consciousness transfers into the other characters, and they see moments through their eyes without actually having any control over them. If you could have this experience with one fictional character, Joe, who would you choose? So you get to transfer your consciousness into some fictional character. You can't control anything, but you get to watch everything. Who are you thinking?
Like,
yep. Good. Maybe I should go first because I've thought about this, because you need some time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, who is like someone who could give me the power fantasy, who might be doing bad things that I wouldn't necessarily want to do, but would like just to see, and then also feels a lot of pain, but then I wouldn't have to feel that pain. That's why I choose Darth Vader. I think it would be so cool to watch him fight other Jedi and all these rebel scum, and then like he's just ripping them apart, but then also sit in the back to tank, like in this milk stuff, because he's like all messed up, but you wouldn't be in pain, or watch people like in the Empire walk up to you and be like, Lord Vader, it's nice to see you. Like, they wouldn't look at your eyes because they'd just be terrified of you. That'd be cool to see, like, from that perspective. And you're a little bit taller than everybody else. Like, you are a presence every time you walk in a room. Everyone's like, oh, like, everybody, look alive. He's here. Like, yeah, Darth Vader, man. Oh, that'd be so cool. Whew. Yeah.
I'd be a ring wraith from Lord of the Rings.
You don't get to be them. You just transfer your mind into them.
Yeah, sure. Until my consciousness overpowers theirs, and I am them.
Are you the one? Are you the Witch King taking that torch to the face? Who like turns like, and he's, whoop, like right in the head. He's like, ah! One of my favorite moments. One of the wackiest moments in all Lord of the Rings. I love it. So Ring Wraith. I thought you'd go Xenomorph or something. I thought you'd go like.
Nah.
I guess you couldn't really see.
What would
very
scare
well.
you more? I mean, you're running around Middle Earth and you're a freaking ring wraith.
Well, you don't have to be something scary. You could be something cool.
Oh, you gotta be something scary.
How about Superman? Wouldn't you want to do Superman? You could fly around. Or Venom. You could be Venom.
Dude, come on, man. Everybody knows Superman isn't real.
Yeah, that's why I said fictional character. So wait, if that's not real, then why'd you pick Ring Wraiths? Are Ring Wraiths
for sure real, man?
Yeah, that's true. Those movies basically seem historically accurate.
It could have happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding. Yeah, Superman would be a close first.
Wait, a close first? I wish you'd call races, Joe. And you're like, oh, this person got first. This person was a close first. Close second.
Yeah. No, Superman would probably be pretty good. Yeah.
That'd be a good one, too. I think
preferably when he's having a moment on a balcony with Lois Lane.
I think Batman would be fun because, like, if you picked it at the right time, I'd pick like 5 o'clock at night, so you get to see like Playboy, Bruce Wayne going to parties and stuff, mingling with people, and then you just see him like make a horrible excuse and have to run because like his watch is like, and he's just like, I've got to go buy a building, and he's just like,
It just happens to be the night he doesn't have any work going on, and he picks up some supermodel. Win-win, whatever.
He's just watching. He's just checking his watch. He's looking at the sky all the time. And she's like, Bruce, why don't you look at me? He's like, I don't. It's just a weird night for me, man. I'm usually busy. I'm usually busy.
Moment, leave me alone. I have work to do.
Yeah, I can see it just feel like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna fix the grapple hook. I'm gonna make it more efficient. It'd also be great to see him just trip or screw up and do something stupid where he hits his head on something and he's like, I'm Batman. Like he's just like
he's in the bat suit and he trips getting out of the Batmobile or something. He's like, oh god, I hope no one saw that.
Or it's like in Spider-Man Homecoming when Spidey is like posing to like scare the criminals. It's like Batman sees someone getting mugged and he's like, where can I approach from and be really cool? And he's like, okay, I'll go over here. And he's like, I'll swoop down and it'll be perfect. It's gonna be perfect. I would love that, man. Not that Batman has to do that because he's perfect, but I would love that. That would be great. Just watching him just yell at Alfred. He's like, Alfred, I need help. Alfred.
Every bad guy has heard Batman go, Alfred.
Yeah, for sure. I always think about that because it's like, how many Alfreds do you know, and how many Alfreds are in Gotham? Like, if one of them Scarecrow is like Alfred, he's like, okay,
he's like, I'm gonna go get a phone book.
Yeah. Yep. It's like that guy in Dark Knight who figures it out. And you're like, finally, someone, just some rando is like, hey, man, I figured out that, like, maybe Bruce Wayne is Batman because he's taken, like, I don't know, our tech. It's like, Who
is that guy?
Remember, he's that guy that Joker, like, he says he's gonna kill this guy eventually because he doesn't want people to find out that this guy knows who Batman's real identity is. Remember that? He's that guy. He's like that kind of... It's the one that Lucius Fox basically threatens. He's like, so you're telling me that you think this billionaire who dresses up like a bat and has all this time and all this tech and all this money is a vigilante, and this is someone you want to threaten or to blackmail? And he's like, yes. Like, it's like, yeah. And then he saves him with the Lambo, Joe. He kills the Lamborghini to save the guy. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I knew if I got the car thing, it would get you back.
Yeah, I remember the Lambo spot. I quit watching after that.
Yeah, Batman would be a good one, too. I just want to see someone who's duality.
Lambo.
Huh?
That was a sexy Lambo.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Back when the Aventador came out, is that what that was, an Aventador?
Here we go. Last question coming in here. I might say he's got so many good ones. Thank you, Miss MH. This other one. What are your favorite unrealistic moments in video games or movies? He said, for example, one of these Final Fantasy characters in 6, Joe, suplexes a train because you're fighting a train, but it's like the old, like sprites. So he like grabs it and is like that kind of thing. So it's like you can't like suplex a train. But apparently this is Sabin guy. Am I saying that? Sabin? It does. Unrealistic moments in movies or video games. Favorite ones. Unrealistic. I like, even though it's kind of unrealistic, but elves have really good balance. I do like when Legolas slides down the shield at Helm's Deep and he's shooting dudes. Like, that's a little bit of fun.
Believable. I never questioned it for a second.
Maybe. I think Orlando Bloom, I remember they're saying like he actually had to do it because they kept doing like those close-ups of his face and they couldn't, like the stunt double. They're like, we're not doing this as stunt double. You're like, he's like, I'm doing it. And I'm like,
I wonder if those guys loved shooting that saga.
Some of it, yes. Helm's Deep, no. I heard Helm's Deep was like hell because it was like out in the rain for a couple of months every night. I was like, I understand where you'd be like, oh, get up and make up. We're going to pour some water on you now. It's like water all night. Like, no thanks. Unrealistic moment.
Another moment for me when Venom survives at the end of the movie. But I love it. I love that he survived.
I love that he's alive. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, Joe. And the Doctor Strange fight in Avengers Infinity War, that's unrealistic, right? I love it. He's making the clones and so good. I love that part. I'm trying to think of something that's a little more practical. Maybe
how about when Tony Stark is Iron Man, jumps out of the plane in the second Iron Man, and he lands on the stage with all the dancers, to AC/DC. I'm back. Right? Is that the song?
I think it's a different song, but it's very close. It's one of those ones.
What is it? Yeah, it's one of those ones.
He should have had that, dude.
Either way, I get it's Iron Man, but like he just came in at like 200 miles an hour to a dead stop.
Yeah. He's fine.
His body would have turned to mush inside of that tin can.
It's just jelly. He's like,
like think about that.
The helmet opens up. It's just like. The suit is still posing though. It's like doing all the things for him. So it's like, I would love it.
Just think about it. Yeah, the face mask tips up and his face just oozes out.
Perfect. Oh, this is great.
Think about it. I love that moment. It's badass, but he would be dead.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Moving on. I think another one, I don't know if I call it unrealistic because he's very strong, but when Cap in Civil War grabs the helicopter, I love that moment, even if it doesn't make sense. I just love it because it's like it shows his strength, and he's like, "I'm not letting you go, Bucky." Like he's like, "I'm gonna die doing this." He's like, kind of thing. Yeah, I dig that a lot too. That's a good one.
Yeah, mine was better.
I love the vibranium rhinos that everyone loves in Black Panther. My favorite. Everyone loves vibranium. I like them. I don't care what people say. Yeah, I think that's the best one. I'm trying to think of a good video game one. Chainsaw gun, you know, like the Lancer from Gears of War. I mean, it's kind of realistic. It's not a moment, but like.
Yeah, it's just what I want when I'm fighting a war is to just chainsaw through people. Get all.
You got to, Joe. They're thick. You can't just do a regular bayonet, man. You gotta get in there. Freaking carve the turkey.
I mean, if you're that close, just throw a couple bullets in them and be done.
Yeah, they're that strong. They're like. It's like darts throwing.
No, you know what I mean. I mean, you're right. You're point blank with a gun. You're already reaching out to put the saw blade on them. Why not just like, boom?
They're bullet sponges, Joe. You got to play more of those games. They just eat the bullets. They're just like, rump.
Yeah, you don't want to waste the ammo, so why not just start up the saw? Yeah.
I wanted to think of a really good one. But
here's the thing: is a lot of what's in video games is fantasy.
T-Rex at the end of Jurassic Park saving the day. Unrealistic because we still don't know how she gets in there. I get there's construction, but you'd think we'd hear her. But for some odd reason, she's like, I'm a stealth this.
Oh,
that ending.
That was on this weekend, by the way. That movie is absolutely perfection.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't care if you're picking out how does a T-Rex get in there? It gets in there, man.
Yep. I agree with you. I agree. And I'm always learning more about it.
No one notices.
Again, people pointing stuff out. They're like, "Oh, the whole like Dr. Grant takes the two female parts for like the seatbelt, and like that's like." I
watched that moment.
I get it. I get where they're coming from. I always thought it just like spoke to his ingenuity, where he was always
I thought it was just a coincidence, like a little moment of, haha.
And I don't know if that was on purpose or not, but like that whole movie, man, like you have to really stare at every frame to be like, okay, where are the flaws? You have to be like, like. It's so hard to look for. And even when you pointed out, like the hand on the Velociraptor going into the kitchen, that's just fun now because like I see it and I'm like, yep, humans made this and they screwed up. But the rest of it's like you'd never see that if I never told you. You could watch it 1,000 times.
Really got to look. Like I think I looked for it the one time, and all I had to do was like 1 minute. I blink and I missed it. So
yeah. That movie is just it's so hard for me to think of it anything less than like nearly perfect. Oh gosh, I love it. But that's because I also freaking love dinosaurs. If you hate dinosaurs, you probably give that movie a pretty low score. Like you're like, yeah, too many dinosaurs. Like there's like 16 minutes of them.
There's such a difference. Like the Velociraptors in there were the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life. The T-Rex was like, geez, old Pete, that thing's gonna. I mean, it just.
I will say the
it
Velociraptor
established
CGI.
an aura and a vibe, and it held it like concrete. And capitalized on it. Then they were like, oh, people love the Velociraptors. Let's show them more. Hey, let's make them like dogs because people love dogs.
I do love dogs.
Yeah, but these aren't dogs. Like
they are now. I'd say the Velociraptor CGI walking into the kitchen doesn't hold up very well. I will say that, though. If you watch that part again specifically, but it's like a little bit.
That and the Brachiosaur moment in the beginning.
How dare you? That thing looks great. I think you're wrong.
That thing is so freaking big.
Dude,
it's
it
like
is
Godzilla.
It's supposed. Okay, first off, we're at a different perspective and an angle. All right, so like you got to keep that in account. There's like a hill involved. Like just remember that. Just remember that it might not be as big as you think it is. Like out there, it's big though. It has to be big. Those things are big. Have you gone to the museums? I've seen them.
That big.
Joe, yes, they were. That movie. How tall is a bro? Let's look it up, Joe. Look it up. Look it up.
Look it up. We're looking it up. Listen to this tangent.
Love it. All right. How tall do you think these things were, Joe?
I'm guessing they were maybe, I don't know, 50 feet tall at most.
I'm getting just getting over 30 feet.
Here's these unusual front legs together with its very long neck, giraffe-like stance, and great height.
40 to 50
to 50 feet tall.
Yeah.
Brachiosaur was about 85 feet long.
I think that tree is not over 50 feet.
Dude, I don't know. They made that thing look like it was like on par with Godzilla.
It's a forced perspective. We're right behind them, and it's at like a little. Don't worry about it. It's like 50 feet. They did the numbers, Joe. I know it looks weird. Godzilla is the biggest Godzilla's ever been. First off, we're gonna compare it to Godzilla. Godzilla's like over 300 feet now. It's like ginormous. Like you can't miss it in a city anymore. Like Godzilla can kind of sneak in maybe. Now it's like nope. It's like woo, I'm over here. Godzilla.
Like, don't sit down. You'll sit on the city.
Yeah, Godzilla is huge now. Which was it 300 feet? Oh God! In 1954, he was 164 feet. Now it's like 492 feet. Oh my God! Oh wait, this is the newest movie. Is this the Japanese
version? Man,
it's just gonna be like 5 miles tall. It's just like hello. Yeah. Anyway,
he's now called Mount Godzilla.
I think the Brachiosaurus looks fine, Joe. It's supposed to be big, and maybe they juiced up its genes, baby. They're putting stuff in there. They could add a few giraffes, man. We'll just add a few giraffes in there. It's big.
I'm not being hypercritical. I'm being hypercritical of it.
Yeah, I'm hyper defensive because I love it too much. That's why you should never let me review the first Jurassic Park.
Absolutely iconic moment.
Oh God, and I love it. And they try to ruin it in freaking Fallen Kingdom. J.A. Bayona or whatever your name is. I won't forget what you've done.
What about all the other ones that drowned?
They didn't drown, man. They got away. They got scooped up in the fastest security pickup in. If the baryonyx got saved from the lava, which there probably was more than one baryonyx, but it seemed like it was the same one. It got saved from being trapped in the lava and underground or whatever. There's no way that I'm thinking that any of those things drowned because they probably just went in there like, snatching them all up.
Jimmy, you're wasting your breath trying to explain a horrible movie.
That's true. Thank you. Because I wish somebody over at Universal cared half as much as we do about this franchise. Because really doesn't seem to be the case. I'm sorry. We're moving on. I apologize. I'm just going to get into a tangent there. Anyway, that's
Timekillers.
That's going to do it. We're done with the show, Joe. If you guys ever have a question or a topic for us, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast on Twitter to either of us. You can tweet at our official account, which is @CoCritical, or you can tweet at me personally. I'm at JimmyGood013. If you'd like to tweet at Joe, you can tweet at
Lever_627. That's Lever just like Beaver, only with an L. There, I did it. You happy, Levi?
I love that he's not even here, and it's like he's causing problems. And as we talked about earlier, if you want to support us, there's a lot of different ways to do so. You can check out our Twitch, but also you can get some cool merchandise like that hat that Joe has on backwards, like Ashton Kutcher now. If you want to get that hat or a shirt.
CR, baby. CR.
Check out our Spreadshirt.
Snapback. White on black. Don't go back. On that, Jack. Sorry.
He talks over me so much, and so does Levi. I think we're going to have to get, like, the talking stick. Like, I'm going to have to pass the talk.
That would be cool, man. That would be cool. We should do that.
We'll have to each get a talking stick because we don't.
I never needed that when I was a kid because I was too. I didn't care. I didn't want to talk to people. I was like,
I thought, as a child, you're like,
like literally. So I came from preschool in Cincinnati, And when they put me in kindergarten at the school I went to, they the teacher gave me coloring books to color because I was too far ahead. So I just sat there. I was like, I freaking hate this place because that's what I hate more than anything. Is coloring. I hate coloring.
What? You hate color? That's such a weird thing to hate.
When I was in art class, all through the years, all the way in through high school, even when I would elect to take an art class, I would draw my friends' projects. Like I would do everything and say, okay, here, you color it all. And he would do it and I would be like, all right, we'll both get an A. It was great.
As I was saying before, if you want to support us, consider checking out our Spreadshirt. You can hear more stories like this from Joe, because you never know what other terrible sadness we'll find in his past. I mean, you never know. But I appreciate that story. It sounds like you worked together as a collaboration to move forward with it.
Well, and now everybody who listens knows a little bit more about me. I hate coloring.
Don't send him any coloring books. Okay.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Speaking of collaborations, though, I want to thank some of the people who make this show possible. This is Dale for our theme music, and the one and only Yoren Evers, the guy who does pretty much all the art you see here on the channel, except for a few key things once in a while, but mostly all Yoren. Yoren's working on a project that he said he's well underway with, and we're supposed to see some more of it soon in the coming months, so that's really cool. But here's a synopsis. When David opens a mysterious box that transforms his arm into an alien weapon, he at first uses it for good to right the wrongs of his high school, but as more of his body is transformed, he finds out that playing God comes with its own set of new self-destructive perils. It's like Venom. It's like a comic like Venom or Chronicle or Blue Beetle or something like that. So check him out. He's at Niraj28 or Niraj28 on Twitter or at Jade Circle Art. Go check him out over there. However, if you want to support Yoren and us at the same time, collaboratively, check us out on patreon.com. We'd love to even just get $1 a month from you guys. I don't think it's asking too much if you've been around for a while, if you've been subscribed for a bit and you're like, you know what, how can I support these guys? That's one way to do it. Or you can share us around. That helps too. Just trying to make a bigger push here, especially going into 2019, because this is going to be the last show that Joe is going to be on this year, because Joe's heading out to old Ohio. For
the Christmas. Yeah,
we're gonna have to do a special episode. Maybe it's gonna be a solo episode, Joe. I don't know if I've ever done one of these. It might just be me sitting alone on Christmas. It'll be the Christmas.
We'll talk. I wish you Merry Christmas, pal.
It'll be the Christmas pledge drive. The Patreon. It'll just be me. It's just like outside. And I'll be like, I'm so cold. If only someone could help me. So I could go see more films and talk about them. Yeah, but thank you to everybody who's been supporting us up until this point. If it's, here on YouTube, subscribing to us, if it's donating on Patreon, if it's donating on Twitch, or just donating your time, like that's huge. So thank you guys, and thanks for people who are listening all the time to the show. I want to keep doing this, Joe, because we got one of our tweets. Ryan did this last week. We have to have a hashtag at the end of these that they can tweet us and let us know if they watch the show. So we did Endgame last week. What's the hashtag they're going to tweet at us this week if they got to the end of the show?
Something to do with Hellboy. Hashtag hellish.
I'm not going to stop. That's great. We're just going to be like hashtag hellish. Hashtag hellish.
HELLISH. Boom. Bam.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, so tweet that at us for sure. Tweet us anytime. We always are looking for topics and stuff. But going into January, I don't know if it's going to be the first week or the second week, we will be doing the annual Critty Awards. We'll get all dressed up and stuff. It might be the second week, Joe. I don't know. We have to talk about this still. And then we'll talk about it. We'll dress up. And I think Levi should be around for that one. I never know with that guy. He's a busy guy. He's got a puppy at home. Yeah. So he's doing all that.
I think I'd be fine with making it that first, what would it be, January 3rd, I think? Second. January 2nd.
Yeah. Maybe. That's what it is. Yeah, that's coming up quick, man. Is it crazy to think we're almost in 2019?
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking it was going to be 2020. Like I was thinking it was 2019 right now. I was like, oh wait. Like I'm fast forwarding everything on myself.
Speaking of old SNL, Rachel Dratch as Barbara Walters on 2020. Like those 2020 jokes are coming, guys. Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you called it.
Yep. Hashtag Hellish, HELLISH at either of us or at the official accounts. You can maybe preface it too with like if you liked something about the show, or if you have any feedback, or you can just tweet hashtag Hellish. That's fine because people will be like, what is this all about? It's great. It's a secret between all of us who are listening and watching right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Joe, for being on. Thank you for repping the brand. The hat. It looks good on you, pal. You look mighty fine. People can't see you right now, but
Thank you, Jimmy. It was a pleasure. And this hat is mighty fine.
thanks everybody for watching my downward spiral into insanity. So you can watch the weeks go by, the bags under my eyes get deeper. But yes, thanks everybody for stopping by, and just remember to adapt and overcome.